no time to talk. Music loud and women warm. I've been kicked around since I was born. You know it's alright, it's okay. We can look the other way. We can try to understand the New York Times effect on man. Whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, you stay alive.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Staying Alive Podcast. Today we're joined with a very passionate vapor, Leanne, and we're very, very keen to hear her quick story. If you want to learn more about what's happening with the live advocacy movement, head over to our website. Check out the barcode or that appears on your screen now, or head over to aliveadvocacymovement.com. We're a supportive mob, basically looking to try and create some change, or at least push over the ridiculous situation around vaping in Australia. But look, to speak a little bit further about that, and from a grassroots perspective, from somebody, just a standard mum from a good family, in Australia. I think it's important to hear from them too. So today, welcome, Leanne. How are you, Leanne?
Hey, how's everyone?
Welcome to this Staying Alive podcast. It's great to have you here because it's really, really important, I think, for listeners to this, particularly a lot of people who they don't vape. They may have just heard or seen a headline, formed an opinion on what they think they know from that. And it's important to hear from somebody who has found a pathway off smoking, I believe. Look, tell us a little bit about that, Leanne. How did you come across vaping, and how's it helped you with smoking?
Well, I actually started smoking probably around 12, 13, and I'm I think 46 now.
Okay.
So we actually heard the things come out of America with the vaping issues. And me and my partner were so scared, we're like, yeah, don't touch vaping. It was only till when I was at work, I seen a guy vaping in the car park, and he actually told me to reach out to New Zealand. We found a really nice New Zealand company that, educated us on vaping. So
when you say this stuff in America might have scared you off a little bit, I believe that circa 2018, 2019, there was a little bit of scare about what they call the Valley, which was basically a lung condition where people were getting hospitalised, but it was from the THC from the cannabis oil, and it wasn't from vaping, but they were certainly trying to conflate the two. And scare people off vaping. So, wow, that held you back from a couple of years potentially.
Yeah, that's when we actually learned. I did some research, reached out to New Zealand vaping company. Yeah, the e-acetone are using vape pods. So yeah, that's when we found out. Yeah, this is rubbish. So we'd actually tried everything. Me and my partner. I'm speaking about my partner because we did our quick journey together. We tried patches. We tried gum. We tried the quick mist, which I didn't know. I think has an ingredient called hydrochloric acid.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
And then we went on to Champix, and I wasn't aware that Champix is very bad for your mental health. My partner was having super horrific dreams. I could not stop eating and crying. So yeah, that pretty much. Yeah. Also, just on the Champix, my cousins come over from England. They do Champix over there, but when you get given Champix, you've got to go to the doctor once a week for your mental health, see how you are, and all that stuff. Checkups in Australia, they give you the box on your way.
On your way. Yeah. Look, it can be some horrendous stuff. Some people might know it as Champix or Chantix in America, or varenicline. And it certainly has got a very checkered history, and some people have had some very poor results that have ended up at the end of their life, sadly, within a day or two of actually trying the stuff. So that didn't work for you either, hey?
No, and I have mental health issues, so the Champix made it worse. But going back to seeing that guy in the car park, he told me to reach out. I reached out. they helped us get. I think it wasn't a Caliburn, like it was one of them little pod devices you get.
Sure.
So we got that, and they had all this juice there. So we picked the juice, and when we were drinking back then, we were drinking like every few weeks, social gatherings. We'd go through
Right.
like a pack or two to maybe three a night. We're just chain smokers.
Oh,
So
been there.
yeah,
Been there.
yeah. So we stocked up on our cigarettes at night. We're getting the delivery of our vaping gear and our juice that day, but we stocked up on cigarettes. We had like I think one or two cigarettes, and then we're like, we'll give it a go. Yeah, we pretty much quit that night.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
What? Almost
yeah,
instantly. Didn't
yeah. The fruity taste took away the want for the actual tobacco taste. Like it tasted really nice. So we sat outside. We're like, this is nice, and it works with our bourbon. It was really good. So we end up just giving them packets away after about 3 or 4 weeks.
So
So
that's interesting. I just want to touch on that. So we're sitting on the beach drinking rocket fuel.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, as we sing our getting drunk national
yeah,
anthem, basically.
yeah,
Bit of chisel on the beach with the bourbon in one hand, the smoke in the other. But all of a sudden, you've been able to replace that with the fruity flavour
yeah.
and actually blended really nicely and worked for you. I find that really interesting because, of course, there's only tobacco, menthol, and mint
Oh,
available now through Australians, and from the studies that I've seen so far, it indicates that roughly around about 80% 80 to 85% of most smokers transitioning to vaping or only able to do so successfully with flavors other than those three that I just mentioned. Yeah.
we did actually get a tobacco liquid when we got the fruity ones because we're like, oh well, maybe we'll need the tobacco. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it tasted awful. And the three flavors you bring up, like even when I smoked, I hated menthol cigarettes, couldn't
Yeah.
stand them, and I'm not a big minty fan unless it's like minty lollies. And yeah, tobacco. If I want tobacco, I'll go back to cigarettes.
Well, look, I'd like to touch on a couple of very important issues around this as well with you, Leanne. And I want to talk about, well, obviously your husband's been able to share this journey with you as well, and
Yeah,
I think that's important as well in any quitting journey, whether
yeah.
you're able to quit with vaping or any other means as possible. Look, what does that mean as a young family? What does that mean for you being able to put food on the table each week?
Well, when we first quit, we ignore that because we didn't realize how much money we're spending a week on cigarettes. Like we're heavy smokers. So within a few months, we'd actually saved up $9,000.
Wow.
So my car was on its last legs. So we actually put that $9,000 into getting me another secondhand car that actually could get from A to B. And we just saved and saved and saved, and we're like, I think 5 years now. Yeah.
So, would it be fair to say would have found yourself in a very dire predicament, like if you hadn't been able to fix up that car at that time and you
Yeah.
hadn't have quit smoking?
Yeah, we would actually we'd always buy smokes because you had to have smokes.
Yeah,
We'd pay the bills, make sure the kids are fed, and me and my partner would always try and squirrel away money just to get more smokes because
yeah,
we're both addicted. We couldn't give up.
yeah.
We couldn't.
Oh,
We tried. We tried every version of quitting, even cold turkey. We couldn't do it.
yeah. And
I thought,
what did you find on the days? You know, like you I don't know if you've been there. Tell me about it. But I know from my experience and talking to thousands of others from around Australia, um, those days where you think, right, I'm not going to have a smoke today, and for the first couple of hours of a day when you go through that, um, what do you go through? Have you tried that? Just go on cold turkey for a couple of hours. Today's the day, and then you go, "Oh, bugger it, all over smoke." You've been there?
yeah, we'd both been there, and we'd end up arguing, and we'd just get really nasty because we
Yeah,
just were craving a cigarette. And yeah, we couldn't quit unless we both did it together. And even if we tried to do it together, we both failed on every other type of quitting method.
yeah. Wow.
It was
And
hard.
and look, I don't want to pry too deeply because it is very, very personal. These type of stories we share in these podcasts. But
Yeah.
you touched on mental health just earlier. And we just obviously just spoke about how it feels when you can't get the nicotine or can't get a cigarette. Um, Obviously, through a cigarette is a hell of a lot more harmful than vaping. But
Mm,
yeah, how does your sense of well-being or feeling since vaping rather than smoking affect your general well-being, if you like, of mental
yeah.
health situation?
So I pretty much swapped cigarettes for vaping. So
Yeah,
I've suffered mental health issues since I can remember. So cigarettes were always there when I was stressed, I was sad, I was happy, I was talking. It was always there. It was like my best friend through everything. So I switched that for vaping. And then I don't know if you remember when all the bushfires come through a few years back. I was
certainly do.
smoking. Yeah, I was smoking a heap then, and we had the bushfires, and I was getting major chest pains, which were happening for I think 2 or so years after. So I'd had
Yeah.
multiple chest X-rays, and then when I did vaping, started vaping. Yeah, they started going away, and I had a chest X-ray, and it's perfect, nothing wrong, and I don't get them really bad chest pains anymore.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which really helps open up the next question. Yeah. So you have
Mm,
seen those noticeable effects. So
yeah.
although you were around bushfires and smoking back in
Yeah.
that really really disturbing time in Australian history, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
But when
you quit smoking shortly after that and noticed
no,
some noticeable differences in the
it
chest
was probably a year.
X-rays.
Yeah, it was probably a year or two after that. But we were smoking,
Yeah.
like we got heavier in our smoking, like majorly heavy. So we've probably gone through, I don't know how many packs, but we're probably spending about 200 to 300 a week on cigarettes alone. So yeah, we're smoking heaps, and I couldn't walk with it. And my partner was doing the whole smoking cough in the morning. He has asthma, so he was
Wow.
constantly using the
Okay.
Ventolin. But yeah, he
So
doesn't have them coughs. Doesn't use much Ventolin.
yeah.
I went to
Well,
the
look,
gym. I joined
in fairness speaking for your man there, how is he? How is he these days, and how long has he been off the smokes?
same time. We quit that night when we are drinking, having a drink. We both quit
Right.
then. I think we'll be coming up to about 5 years now.
Oh, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And and is your husband still coughing and
No,
spluttering? No.
no, he doesn't have that horrible cough. He doesn't use his Ventolin all the time because I was constantly buying him Ventolin. Yeah, no, that's slowed up heaps. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll look to an asthmatic and Australian for those who are listening, maybe from somewhere else around the world. We basically got wet season and dry season, and there's all sorts of things that happen in our dry seasons. Lots of particulates in the air, and if you're asthmatic, it's often hereditary. Not always, but often, and they can certainly set off a bit of inflammation in all the wrong areas when you need it the least. That's for sure. But,
Yeah.
uh, but but vaping doesn't seem to give him any issues, by the sounds of it.
No, he's a lot healthier. Like I used to hear him just doing them really hacking coughs in the morning. And he was the type of smoker that if he woke up through the night, he'd just go to have a cigarette, then come back to bed. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, that's horrendous. Well, at least dark days are gone. Hopefully, or
they
are they
have.
gone? Well,
Yeah.
the dark days have gone. At least of having dark lung X-rays or
Mm,
dark chest X-rays.
yeah.
But are we in the dark days of being able to get hold of uh, the very things that help us quit smoking? Well, we found a viable alternative that is a hell of a lot safer. Look, I think you're pretty privy to what's been going on in the news and what's been happening with vaping bans and that around Australia so far in 2024. Um, what do you think about what's going on, Leanne?
We've been on this roller coaster for a while now, and we quit due to vaping. That was when Greg Hunt wanted to ban it. So we went through that, and then we come up to now with it's pretty much just bed. You may as well just say it's bed. And my partner's actually spoken about going back to cigarettes. So
Wow.
because we can't go to the vape shop anymore. We used to have a really nice vape shop. They were very knowledgeable. You could go in and be like, this is not working. How come this doesn't work? Have you got something that will work with this? And you just get all the advice you needed. I shouldn't have to go to work and tell my workmates that instead of going out and having a vape break, I'm going out to have my medicine. They
Yeah.
laugh. They
Yeah.
laugh. And they're like, you serious? I'm like, I've got a prescription. Yes, I'm serious.
Yeah, this is a medicine now. That's what it's sort of become. Yet it is, to my knowledge, there's no other medicine in Australia that is unapproved. That is unapproved that you need a prescription for. It is only
That's
vaping
right.
products. It's insanity. It just really doesn't make sense.
I
Um,
read somewhere I think I can't remember the politician that said it. It's like going to the bottle shop to buy your full strength beer, but if you want half strength beer, you go to the chemist.
right? How how is
Yeah.
this? How is this even a thing? How is it even possible that you're after the journey to have been through in life to get where you are? That I mean, how does it make you feel to hear your better half in life saying, "Look, we might going back to the smokes too hard."
Yeah. It's
How does it
just
make you
trying to.
feel?
Oh, I'm so angry because we've got an unelected body of people that can tell the government what adult taxpayers can and can't do. Like, that to me is infuriating. The government should stay out of our life. We're picking a 95% safer, healthier option to move away from smoking, which will help you know, the hospital line or whatever, the waiting list, with excess complications coming if we kept smoking. Like, it's insane. We're adults. I don't get
Look,
it. I'm just so
look,
angry.
look, just a couple of moments ago, you touched on a vape shop that you used to go to, the very helpful
Yeah.
service and that sort of thing. Now, did they sell cigarettes as well?
No, it was
Okay,
just a vape shop. You go in, everything's black. They had to open the cupboards, like they had to follow all the rules that were
right.
put on there, and they followed them all.
Did
No
they sell?
cigarettes.
Did they sell American candy or just like attract it out the front, trying to wave down children to come into the store or anything like that?
No, outside the store was actually painted black with their name on it. So you
Right.
couldn't even see in the store. So yeah, you'd have to walk in and talk to them to know what they're selling. Like, have you got this kind of juice? Have you got something like this as a vape? And they'd have to pull it out because you couldn't see anything. It was all
Right.
blacked over.
So
Yeah.
no cigarettes, no candy,
Mm,
none of all the other the glitz and shimmer that you see of a lot of the black market tobacconists you see around
mm,
now. The one that you're describing sounds like a specialist vape shop.
yeah.
That have been one of about 500 beer plus businesses across Australia which have been forced to close and comply with the new laws while the black market stick a finger up to the
Yeah.
laws that have come in place. Yeah,
Yeah. My nephew still has it. He still gets them. He knows where to get them.
yeah,
Like, they're never without. I see them actually downtown, like when I go outside to have my breaks or I'm shopping, you'll just still see them walking around. Like, they've been banned twice. Like, do they think the first ban was going to work? Do they think the second ban would work? Like,
yeah.
that's just ridiculous. I'm so angry at the government.
No, look, you, along with another 1.6 million Australian vapers. Sadly, we learnt this week that approximately 300,000 people have stopped vaping over the last year here in Australia, which covers most of the term that the new laws have been in, which could possibly mean that up to 300,000 vapers in Australia, those who have found a way to avoid smoking or find a pathway of smoking, may have returned to smoking.
Yeah, that's infuriates me. For the people who use vaping, because it's 100% the best cessation product. Whereas if the government's denying smokers that want to get healthy and they cannot find a quit product that works for them, like vaping has proven to be one of the best because you still got the hand movements, which when I have a cup of tea or something, used to like having a smoke. People like that with
Yeah.
their coffees. Well, you've got the hair movements of a vape, and then you don't get the whole cravings, but you've got the nice flavor from the juice. So yeah, it's a beautiful switch in if you are one of the people that just cannot quit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
but unfortunately, they're one of those people who cannot quit by any other ways. The gums, the lozenges, the patches, and heaven help them
yeah.
if they go the road of even trying Champix and do so very, very cautiously. I recommend, but check with your doctor because I'm not one. Um, but yeah, the very fact that you can still get a hold of these things easily, as you've just said, what your daughter just mentioned, there's still plenty around
Oh, you said it.
on the black market. Yeah, you see them all the time. Can I ask what state you're in?
New South Wales.
Right, but so New South Wales, yeah. So they're still well and truly fully available
Yeah,
everywhere. Yeah.
yeah. When we went
So
up to
and
when we
these are
went up to
the
Sydney, oh sorry,
you're right, and these are the disposables that were banned on January the 1st. Yeah, you over to you.
disposables were actually banned under Greg Hunt, and then they were banned again under this government. So that to me is just yeah, it's just stupid. But anyways, we went up to Sydney a couple of weeks ago, and you walk around there, and everybody's just vaping disposables. They're everywhere. Like it's
Excellent.
crazy.
And when was this last week?
No, it was probably about a month ago.
About a month ago. Okay. Yeah, that's
Mm.
really, really interesting. Yeah, some observational little tweets about some observations from some of the non-government organisations or Mark Butler's friends, etc., have been sort of saying, "Hey, look, we're noticing there's not many people vaping anymore. Job well done, all over." So,
I'm still down here in my town. We're in regional, and I see
right,
it. Yeah,
right.
like you can get anything on the black market. Like prohibition has never worked. It's been proven like it's never worked in anything. Where there's a will, there's a way, and the black market is having its way.
So, how, in your mind, can the government help you and your husband make this better?
Regulate the industry.
Okay.
Do what England have done or New Zealand because they're seeing lower rates of cigarette smokers. Regulate it. Follow other countries' ways of doing it. Learn and stop being addicted to the cigarette taxes. Like making money off the backs of people that are addicted to a product that is slowly killing them is absolutely disgusting. Regulate. That's it. End off. And when they want to talk about flavors, I don't see them walking into a bottle shop and saying fairy floss flavored vodka. Have you seen the flavors?
Oh yeah,
I couldn't.
there's some extraordinary cotton candy flavors. And look at
Yeah,
there's the colors of the rainbow and Willy Wonka's factory are fully available in the alcohol shops now and the vodkas. Yeah, but that's fine.
crazy.
That's fine. I think we only lose about 1,500 kids a year through the bad use of alcohol. But how many deaths is there per year through vaping nicotine? That's right. I think I think that was a donut flavor. No, that was a donut zero. Zero
I'll tell,
people have died.
I'll tell you what's dying because of people vaping is the taxes the government's collecting of smokers that are quitting. If they regulate it and tax it properly, not in line with cigarette smoking, but tax it, then they'll still make money because that opens it up for vapors to still continue and for people who want to quit to go and get the correct advice to quit. That's it, simple.
Absolutely, absolutely. Leanne, I want to thank you so much for joining us on our podcast today. You have really shared a grassroots experience that every Australian, I believe, should hear. To open up a little bit of time, your honesty, uh, with your integrity, in such a way that just it's so honest and so subtle that yeah, I know you could have probably let go and let go a lot more swear words, maybe what you want to think today, but it's
That's big.
I think there's a lot more that needs to be said from vapors like yourself and from those around Australia. For those of other vapors around Australia, have you got any final words?
Regulate the industry. That's all I can say. And speak up, all the vapors. Be loud.
Be loud. Thank you so much again for joining me on Staying Alive podcast. We've been an absolute pleasure being joined with Leanne today on this podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know what you like. Let us know your experiences. Become part of the action that could help create change, or at least change the inevitable that it is going to happen anyway when vapes do have to become regulated sensibly and proportionately and licensed into retail outlets across Australia by going over to aliveadvocacymovement.com, aliveadvocacymovement.com, and also if you've got a QR code available to you in front of you for it, go and check that out. Nonetheless, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to see you on the next one, and we look forward to hearing from you. How about we do a little bit of boogie out of here with a bit of Staying Alive?
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No worries. All right.